the wedding party's waiting right over there behind those double doors and that exit over there. And they're super excited to get in here and get this party started. So let's make some noise for them. Show how excited we are for them. Up first, let's make some noise for Sam and Courtney. Next we have Patrick and Liz. Kevin and Madeline. Kyle and Julia. Let's hear it for Alex and Eddie. I see you. Let's hear it for Scott and Zoe. Special noise for best man Luke and maid of honor Lizzie. Our other best man Zach and other maid of honor JD. Ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time as husband and wife, get your feet, help me welcome Mr. and Mrs. Brockmeyer! Let's hear it again for the wedding party.
Someone to understand my ups and downs. There you were, with sweet love and devotion, deeply touching my emotion.
Hello, everybody. I'm Brian, and I'm the father of this beautiful bride, Maggie. On behalf of my wife, Sarah, and on behalf of Chuck and Sarah, I welcome all of you to the celebration of the wedding of Maggie and Will. First, thank you all for your efforts to be here. Some of you have come from a very long distance, the farthest reaches of St. Louis, the lake, and 12 or 13 different states. You made plans to be here, you traveled here, you've dressed up nicely. You all look great. I think you should be ready to have a good time. Please know that all of you sit here tonight because you are important in the lives of Maggie and Will, or to those that have cared for Maggie and Will. And we have from our families those we would love to have this evening with, but who are not here. We miss them because they loved and cared for Maggie and Will, and we hold them in our hearts. We had a beautiful wedding this afternoon. I had written down that St. Michael's was splendid, but it was really resplendent. It was wonderful, and Father Anderson, Father Grush, and Father Mayo celebrated this wedding, and it is important for us to know that Maggie and Will's life together begins under the seal of a sacrament. Now, I'm on a very short leash tonight with an appreciation for my wife, Sarah. She's averse to praise, but she's worthy of it nonetheless. There are literally thousands of decisions that have to be made to plan a wedding, and by far, Sarah made most of those decisions. This wonderful day, this wonderful evening, and this beautiful event are her work. You did a wonderful job. I'm standing here and I'm reminded of my own wedding reception some years back. My father-in-law stood up like I am now, and he joked that he gave his wife an unlimited budget to plan the wedding, and she exceeded it. You know, Dick, finally I get the joke. Sarah and I consider Will's parents, Chuck and Sarah, as our friends, and this is due to the fact that Maggie and Will have dated for 16 years now. That's not really true. But they did start dating in high school, and now, of course, they both have careers and responsibilities, and I'm told that they even pay taxes. So they have literally grown into adulthood together. Consequently, Sarah and I have had opportunities to spend a lot of time with Chuck and Sarah. We've had dinners, we've been to parties, we've shared a vacation. I have a good time when I'm around them, and they have a very beautiful family. And it's my belief, in the most genuine sense, that no parent ever accidentally raised a good kid. And Sarah and Chuck have 4 great kids, one that I'm particularly fond of. That's Patrick. No. It's Will. Will. What am I to say about Will? Just this. Will is bright and he's easy to talk to. He has a calm demeanor. He's responsible, hardworking, devoted to his family. He's athletic. He likes to golf. And he loves his Cardinals. I suspect, too, that Will is a bit of a mischief maker, but that he is the least likely person to get caught doing that. So I see a lot of myself in Will, and in my judgment, Will is a good guy. It proves true, I think, the old saw that a girl looks for in a husband the traits of her father. And this reassures me quite a bit. Now, Maggie. I know through the years, on countless occasions, I've unintentionally embarrassed you. And I am sorry for that. But tonight, I want you to know it's going to be different. Tonight, it's intentional. What to say about McGaggy? That's the nickname given to her by her uncle. But I should say at home, her nickname is Joy. And that is due to her unbelievably positive attitude. In fact, Maggie is so optimistic that she overwhelms all pessimism. And believe me, had it rained today, Maggie would tell you that it's good luck for it to rain on your wedding day. And she would believe it, and she would have all of you believe it. It's traditional, Maggie, in a speech like this, for me to say that my world changed on the day you were born. Sadly, I have no memory of the day you were born. My memories of the births of you and your sisters have all melted together. I do have a distinct memory of 2 days after you were born, and it's this. I'm pushing Mom in a wheelchair out of St. Mary's Hospital, and a nurse is walking along beside us, and you're in Mom's arms, and you're all swaddled up. And the car is right outside the doors of the hospital. And I take Mom from you, and I gently buckle you into a brand new baby car seat, and the nurse sort of turns on her heel and hustles that wheelchair out of the way, back into the hospital. And the doors to the hospital close, and I look at the car, and I see you in the car seat, and I see Mom, and that memory is so clear to me. I just had an overwhelming sense that I'm kidnapping this baby. Mom and I literally knew nothing about caring for an infant. And this is true about this story. The very first person, not a family member, who saw you out in the world, away from the hospital, was a worker at the McDonald's drive-thru window. That was October 5th, 1994. No, as a firstborn, Maggie was a very easy child on her parents. There was no problems with her at all. She was a content baby. She was a fun toddler, a joyful child. And that would last until she started to learn how to play board games. We found out that Maggie cannot fathom losing. Now, I pulled no punches in raising 3 daughters. If you sit down to play Chutes and Ladders, you ought to play to win. And so for myself, I would flick that little spinner very hard. And I always tried for the maximum 6 spaces, every time. And so Maggie shed a few tears and stormed off from more than one board game. But she never stayed mad for long, and she learned to compete, and she learned to be graceful in defeat. Well, I should say she faked being graceful in defeat, and she turned into a steely competitor in high school in tennis. She never backed down from any line call. So there is a competitiveness within that joy. And Maggie's formative years had a nostalgic air about them, a Norman Rockwell quality, I'd say. She grew up in an old-time neighborhood. She walked to school and to the grocery store. She played hopscotch on the front walk. She had, a hot dog party for the whole first grade class. Very old-fashioned stuff. And so, when Will arrived, he had to have a nostalgic, idealized role in her life. And Will's role was the best boyfriend ever. And this was brought home to me when Will joined us for a spring break vacation. Maggie was at UMKC and Will was at Rockhurst. And they were going to meet us in Florida. And Maggie called to shore up the plans. And she called me and asked, would I pack a baseball glove in my bag? Well, sure, it was not a problem to pack a baseball glove in my bag, I told her. And I recalled saying, well, Maggie, why would I do that? Because, she said, Dad, Will and I could play catch on the beach. That's what you do when you're the dad of a daughter with the best boyfriend ever. And God love you, Will, you brought your glove, and I brought mine, and we played catch on the beach. And we did that for Maggie. I am confident that this good guy has found his joy, and the life that they make will be every inch a Norman Rockwell portrait. And so I propose this toast to Maggie and Will, a lifetime filled with happiness, health, and prosperity.
How's it going, everybody? That's going to be pretty tough to follow up. Good job, Mr. McCarthy. First, I want to take a drink of water because we know how important it is to drink water. So I just want to start off by introducing myself. My name is Zach Brockmeyer. I'm the youngest of 4 in the Brockmeyer family. I'm the youngest son in the family as well, obviously. So I want to start off with talking about growing up as a younger brother to Will. It's pretty tough, I'm not going to lie. It was not the best all the time. If you don't know Will, he knows how to push your buttons very, very well. He doesn't show it, but he's very devious sometimes. He has a special talent to know exactly what to say to make you very, very angry, and he knows he's good at it, so it's the worst thing in the world. So that's very difficult, and it was very difficult to, grow up dealing with somebody like that. But there were also some great times, obviously. I I want to also talk about the story, awkward first story, of how I met Maggie for the first time. So after one of the soccer games, Will was playing Eviani. We were there watching it. I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but we were at the cars talking. I think Will was talking with us and a few of the other guys, Kyle and a few of the other soccer players. And Kyle goes, "Brock, you're not going to introduce them to her? You're not going to say anything to her?" And he's like, What? And Will's like, "Oh, yeah, I guess I should probably introduce my girlfriend to my family for the first time." So it was a very Will experience. Kind of didn't know how to deal with that situation, but he got through it. And ever since then, we've known Maggie since junior year. So ever since then, it's been a great experience, and we've been blessed to know Maggie this entire time. If you know Will, it's very hard to describe who he is. I've had multiple people ask me, "So what's your brother Will like?" My girlfriend Sam said, "So what's Will like?" And I was actually at a loss for words. I did not know how to describe Will. I knew how to describe Luke. I knew how to describe Lizzie. I even knew how to describe Patrick. But I did not know how to describe Will. But you kind of come up with a few things here and there. But no, Will's a great person, and it's been a pleasure to call you a brother these last 21 years, and I'm very happy for you both. He shows very little emotion. I'm sure a lot of you guys have noticed that, the people that are close with Will. He doesn't show a ton of emotion, but going off of that, ever since Maggie came around in the picture, she has found a way to show emotion, show Will's emotion. She brings out the best in Will, and something that we've never seen in Will. So I want to say thank you, Maggie, for showing the best in Will to us, because we really haven't seen it since then. But in all reality, these two are the best couple you could ever ask for. Will, ever since we found it, shows a lot of emotion and shows that he really loves and cares for Maggie. And it's really nice to see, how much he truly cares about Maggie and loves Maggie. So after that, now I'm going to move on to Luke. Luke has a few more words to say, and he has the toast as well.
Hello, everyone. As most of you know, I'm Will's older brother, Luke. And I want to thank Mr. and Mrs. McCarthy for everything you've done. This is a wonderful evening. And I want to congratulate Will and Maggie on getting married, finally, after 8 years. Ever since Will met Maggie, I knew Will was lucky to have her in his life. I promised to keep this short, but I wanted to tell a quick story about Will, and I thought that it was probably necessary to warn Maggie about this. So after I moved out of my parents' house about 6 years ago, I would always call my mom and dad, and I would, small talk and ask how the boys were doing. And no matter what, they always had the same answer. They would have some different answer for Zach every time, but they had the same answer for Will. And it went something like this. It was, "Oh, he's good. He's sitting in the same spot in that chair and wearing nothing but his boxers watching SportsCenter." And that's how it went just about every time. So I got used to hearing that from them when I would call them, but I didn't really think much of it. Well, fast forward to a year ago, Will moved in with me and my beautiful wife, Courtney, and it took me about 2 days to feel what my mom had felt all those years. I came home from work. It was probably the second or third day, and Will's laying on my couch wearing nothing but his boxers. So after that, I kind of figured, I got used to it. Courtney got used to it. Until about a month ago, I have cameras on the outside of my house, so watch out now. So I'm sitting at work, and I get notifications on my phone when there's motion on my camera. So I'm sitting at work, and I get a notification from my cameras, and without doubt, Will's taking out the trash out of my front door and nothing but his boxers in the middle of the day. So not only do I know what my mom felt, Courtney knows what my mom felt, and now the rest of my neighbors know what my mom felt. So I just wanted to say a few nice things about you guys. Maggie, I'm so glad you're officially joining our family. You're so determined and hardworking, and the energy you bring to our room is contagious. Will, I'm extremely lucky to call you my brother. I don't know what I would do without you in my life. I look up to you. You're always quick with a joke, and when you set your mind to something, you achieve it. So I look forward to seeing you guys grow together and officially beginning your lives together. If you guys keep your faith strong and your love for each other strong, there's nothing you guys can't accomplish. So, propose a toast to the newly married couple. Here's to you guys. Cheers. Yeah, no problem. Good job. That was good. That was good. Now everybody knows what it's about.
Hello, everybody. So evidently, Will, in the past 7 years that we've known him, has painted a very different picture in Janie and my minds than evidently what they grew up with. So when you're a maid of honor, there are certain things that you're supposed to take care of, apparently. That includes being at the bride's every beck and call, agreeing with every decision she makes, and making sure she never knows when anything is going wrong. Essentially, Janie and I have been preparing for that our entire lives.
From a very young age, Maggie had her heart set on getting what she wanted. Whether it was making our families take a bit of a northern detour to Canada to get Crocs right as they were getting big, or having epic battles on the tennis court to become district champion, or graduating college in a whopping 2.5 years, only to go on to grad school, and surprise, she graduated that early too. Maggie knew what she wanted, and she would do whatever she had to achieve that. And we came to find out that this notion has held very true in her love life as well.
Heck, that notion held true for this speech. She's like, I want it to be sentimental, but not gushy, and it needs to be funny. So thank you for laughing.
Will passed the test for a sister's boyfriend for me pretty immediately. It's not that hard for me, though. The poor boy was making his way from the windy roads of Eureka to the city of St. Louis to take my sister on a date for the first time. And Maggie was trying to give her directions. Now, while Maggie is good at a lot of things, I think we can all agree that giving directions are not Maggie's strong suit. Somehow, in the course of this phone conversation with Will, she made the mistake of passing the phone off to me. And my first conversation with Will went a little something like this. Hey, I know you've never been to the city before, but have you ever heard of Ted Drew's? I was thinking on your way, maybe you could stop by and get me a Crater Copernicus. Overwhelmed by my directness, Will knew he had no choice. And sure enough, he arrived at my doorstep with a Crater Copernicus on dry ice. Now, I recognize today that this is less of a conversation and more of me just taking advantage of some new sap to satiate my sweet tooth's every need. But you know what? Throughout the years, Will has become more than just my Uber Eats driver. He was given a promotion by my parents to Uber driver when I needed to go to track meets freshman year. And let's be honest, my parents didn't want to sit through those, so Will was the perfect bait. He soon became my golf instructor. The most avid fan of my 8th grade Christmas musical. Most recently, my car mechanic when they visited me in Elon. And I must admit, I may or may not have made a couple purchases on his credit card because it's on the Amazon account. So ultimately, although Will just became my brother tonight, well, I guess this afternoon, he's been playing the role for a long time now.
Those of you that know me well, and for you that don't, I'll paint you a picture. I'm a tough judge of character. And I think that Will felt that the most during his first few months being acclimated into our family. I never disliked Will, I make that very clear. I just wanted to make sure that his intentions with my sister were good ones. I put up a tough front, but that all ended because of two seemingly small things. First, Will got me a present for my birthday. And no, my love language is not receiving gifts. But he got me a card, and in the card was a gift card to Barnes & Noble. Now, there are people out there that are like, I cannot think of a worse gift to get. But, again, if you know me well, you know on the inside, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes! Like, I love that. So he knew me well. The second was he spent time over Christmas break working on a jigsaw puzzle with me. I am 60 years old at heart. He came into the dining room, despite the fact that the rest of my family was in the family room watching TV, Maggie included, just sat down silently and worked this puzzle with me. He wanted time to just get to know me.
Now, we can both go on about stories of Will, but we know he hates it. Maggie, on the other hand, loves being talked about. Those of you who know Maggie know she is a refreshing bundle of happiness with only good intentions. She is one of the most thoughtful, generous, and positive people you could meet. Now, if you live on our block, you may know our family follows a little bit of a theory that people are like their pets. After freshman year of college, we met Maggie in dog form when she brought home Sophie. Although there's been a little bit of consternation surrounding this little fluff ball, the way she waddles around ready to be the center of attention reminds us of Maggie. But she's the biggest sweetheart and the biggest cuddle bug, which makes us think of Maggie. And despite Sophie's massive underbite, which Maggie does not share, and will forever completely overlook, Will has willingly accepted Sophie. And more than just that, he enjoys her. And this shows that he will always and has always had Maggie's back.
They've always had each other's back. We all witnessed that today when Will took a little sidebar from the ceremony. But even before then, he stayed by Maggie's side when she fainted at school and had to wear a neck brace. He wouldn't even laugh when I made side-by-side photo comparisons with Maggie and Joan Cusack from 16 Candles when she's trying to get the water from the fountain, even though I know he wanted to.
whether it was bringing him cheeseburgers when he worked at Hibbett Sports, or being his biggest cheerleader on the soccer field or in other achievements, or being ready to throw down when Will got pulled over for having a taillight out. Maggie has had Will's back too. They've been there for each other in good times and in bad.
When we were younger, and to be honest, we still do now, we used to break up songs into parts to sing as a trio. I'll spare your ears. We won't break into song now, although we could, and maybe later you might see that. Our favorite was from the Cheetah Girls. We were always a trio, and being the most hesitant to change, I was hesitant to make our trio into a quartet. But I can say that there is no person on this planet that Janie and I would like to add to our trio than Will.
Although one thing Lizzie and I have struggled with, to say the least, since Will has entered our family, every single guy we bring home is compared to the lovely Will Brockmeyer. Although hard, we have recently recognized this as a very good measure, because if we are lucky enough to find someone that measures up to Will, we will be pretty damn lucky. Cheers to Maggie and Will.
You're a falling star, you're the getaway car, you're the line in the sand when I go too far. You're the swimming pool on an August day, and you're the perfect thing to say. And you play it coy, but it's kinda cute. Oh, when you smile at me, you know exactly what you do. Baby, don't pretend that you don't know it's true, 'cause you can see it when I look at you. And in this crazy life, and through these crazy times, it's you. You make me sing your every line, your every word, your everything. You're a carousel, you're always well, and you light me up when you ring my bell. You're a mystery, you're from outer space, you're every minute of my everyday. And I can't believe that I'm your man, and I get to kiss you, baby, just because I can. Whatever comes our way, I will see it through, and you know that's what our love can do. And in this crazy life, and through these crazy times, it's you. You make me sing your every line, your every word, your everything. I remember the days of just keeping time, of hanging around in sleepy towns forever. Back roads empty for miles. Well, you can't have a dream and cut it to fit, but when I saw you, I knew we'd go together, like a wink and a smile.
leave your old jalopy by the railroad track. We'll get a hip, double dip, tip-toppy, two-seat Pontiac. So you can rev her up, don't go slow. It's only green lights and all rights. Let's go together with a wink and a smile. Give me a wink and a smile. We go together like a wink and a smile. Now my heart is music.
When it's not always raining, there'll be days like this. When there's no one complaining, there'll be days like this. Everything falls into place like the flick of a switch. Well, my mama told me there'll be days like this. When you don't need to worry, there'll be days like this. When no one's in a hurry, there'll be days like this. When you don't get betrayed by that old Judas kiss. Oh, my mama told me there'll be days like this. When you don't need an answer, there'll be days like this. When you don't need a chance, there'll be days like this. When all the parts of the puzzle start to look like they fit, then I must remember there'll be days like this. When everyone is up front and they're not playing tricks. When you don't have no freeloaders out to get their kicks. Well, that's nobody's business, the way that you want to live. I'll just have to remember there'll be days like this. When no one steps on my dreams, there'll be days like this. When people understand what I mean, there'll be days like this.
There they are. Look at you guys against the head table there. Kind of back up a little bit. A lot more than I expected. What are you doing, guys? Let's get some in. All right, is anyone momentum? Oh, here we go. Let's hear for a winner. Ladies on it. Good try, ladies.
Oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said ooh, shut up and dance with me. Oh, don't you dare